When I was 7, I wanted to be a baseball player. I was ready for the major leagues, except for one detail. I always put my glove on backwards and on the wrong hand. One day, this kid said to me, "You know, girls can't be baseball players." He was trying to tell me there were rules, like girls could be ballerinas. Note the scar on my right knee. That was from playing baseball, much to my mother's chagrin. But girls couldn't be cowboys. You know what? I didn't listen.
My name is Megan, and I'm 7.5.
Megan McCready is just starting her baseball career. She plays for the Cubs in Pointe Claire, a suburb of Montreal.
I'm the only girl on my team, but we have a lot of good players.
So what's the good and the bad part about playing with boys?
There's no good and no bad part about playing with boys. It's, as some people say, the more boys, the better. And you always have to choose your right pitch. If it's too low, too high, and you swing for all of them, it's a strike. But if you don't swing for it, you just keep your a bat like this and you watch it go by, it's a ball, and you don't get out. If it's like this, it has to always be somewhere around your belly button or your stomach. And if it's about there, swing for it. One time, it was not a game, okay, and I was practicing with my dad here, over there, behind me, and I caught one in between my legs, which I never knew I was going to catch. I was like, ow! And that was my first pop fly I ever caught.
Good job, Chris!
I want to be a police officer, but to stay in shape, because sometimes police officers don't do that much exercise every day. So I think I would be kind of like a baseball player.
Millions of people have a love affair with baseball. It was popular in North America as early as the mid-1800s. Although men monopolized the game, women were there too, and they played hardball just like the men. In 1866, the Vassar College Resolutes, a team of young ladies, frolicked gracefully across the fields in their billowing dresses. And 30 years later, women in New Brunswick challenged others to a game of ball. Even your great-grandmother might have been a baseball player. At times, a game had to be temporarily suspended because a skirt ripped when a young miss tripped chasing a fly ball. But the clothes were good for one thing. Women in the outfield became experts at trapping baseballs in their skirts. The first professional women baseball players were the Bloomer Girls in the 1890s. They were famous because they traveled from city to city in North America on barnstorming tours. Their promoters, whose other jobs were sometimes horseshoeing or saloon keeping, cashed in on the novelty of women playing baseball against men. Teams were also mixed. Hall of Fame great Rogers Hornsby once played as a Bloomer Girl. They were popular until the late 1920s when their fans became more interested in men's professional baseball. and Babe Ruth was worshipped as an American hero. Softball was a variation on baseball. The ball was bigger, the game was simpler. Softball soon became a sport everyone could play. All you needed was a bat and a ball. It was also thought that softball was less dangerous than baseball, and women, the more fragile sex, were encouraged to play the safer sport.
All right, let's go! That's great, guys!
I play with the Kirkland Ladies slow pitch. It's my time. It's my time to relax and my time to gab about other things than housework and kids and play baseball.
Now, okay, all right, I got it. Now what do I do with it?
Up on your feet. Up on your feet, girls.
Don't let it go.
Until they're ready.
If you put your foot out first.
Come on,
Lucy! Rattle them all! Grab that bat and smack that ball! All right.
Slow pitch is very similar to baseball, except the ball has to have at least a 12-foot arc on it. I enjoy that better than the straight baseball because the baseball, I find the ball comes in too fast, so this way it's much easier to hit. A lot of the women have smaller children, and they bring their strollers and carriages.
Nice try, Jen.
Way to be there, Jen. Way to hustle.
Okay, let's go. Going to first base if we can, if not second. Oh, nice one.
Strike one.
All right, girl. Go to second. It's not a real game. Down and dirty. Molly!
Yes. That's the way to call it.
Yeah. All right.
By the mid-1930s, softball had developed from a picnic game into a more serious sport. School teams, church and industrial leagues sprang up everywhere. Nearly every community in North America had some form of ball team. By 1994, the Amateur Softball Association estimated that there were 60 million players around the world. 60% were women. One of the top-level women's fast-pitch softball teams in Canada is Alpha Sports from Vancouver. Jackie Pranteau was one of their first-string pitchers. A Métis, she started playing in northern Manitoba.
I didn't start softball until I was 14. I never even seen it before. When we played Indian baseball, what we did was with the rubber ball, so when they were running, we hit them with it to get them out. So by the time I picked up a softball and started pitching, it was natural.
Sorry, I'm just gonna throw one. You kind of let it go like, maybe stand on this side. You kind of let it go like this, and then when you come around, it's just... You come
Every
over
year,
top
Jackie
of it,
is invited to
and
the
that way it's
Squamish
coming
Nation
over.
Reserve
So
to
it's
train
really
less
fast.
experienced softball
Going
players.
slow.
They have a tradition that the older generation will teach the young.
And then, looks like you get everything into it, so which is really good. Do you have a drop ball? Do you have a drop ball or anything? Want me to teach you what? Yeah.
There was a lot of people that come from the north that are talented ball players. When I go up north, I want to let them know that, hey guys, you're good. But just letting them know that might give them the extra edge to try harder, to discipline themselves, and everything else.
14 of the best women's softball teams from around the world are competing in the first Canada Cup International Women's Fast Pitch Tournament at Softball City in Surrey near Vancouver. From Japan, China, Chinese Taipei, Australia, the United States, and Canada, these ladies hit pitches faster than the eye can see. Thousands of people will be here to cheer them on.
From the Reading Rebels, Shannon Reddington and Amber Tessier, and finally the California promotion, Carly Parrish and Sarah Barnes.
My name is Justin, I'm 9, and I like women's softball because, well, they're good.
I was taking my dad here for Father's Day, for a Father's Day gift.
And we like it. And we've never been here before.
I used to play softball and he used to coach me, so we thought we'd come and check it out.
How's it different from watching men's softball?
Men's are boring, sorry.
Pitching for the Renegades, number 88, Michelle Granger.
Michelle Granger's throwing is scary. Her pitches speed towards home plate at over 70 miles per hour. Nobody messes with her fastball. Opening day of the Canada Cup, she pitched a perfect game, racking up 14 strikeouts.
I'm a very tall girl. I'm not a little short thing, which helps, and I have long arms, and that also helps. And plus, my dad, from a very early age, kept saying, just throw it hard and don't worry about where it goes. And I think that had a lot to do with it, because you can bring the speed into the strike zone, but you can't bring, if you're going to just try to throw strikes, sometimes your speed diminishes. And, he was very supportive as far as not worrying about throwing strikes.
Yes! That brings to the plate number 19, Alicia Stevenson, shortstop. Stevenson. 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
My catcher and I work together as far as calling pitches, but for the most part it's pretty easy because I throw a lot of the same thing. What I throw surprises nobody. I'm not one of those pitchers that tries to fool you or anything. I go right at a batter. I'm a rise ball pitcher, that's what I do, and that's what they know is coming.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a little boy lost. Ian Jones was over by the Vision Quest booth, by the souvenir stands.
Thank you. You're
Would
welcome.
his parents please come take him up?
Okay, I'm out of here.
Michelle's team, the Renegades, lost 1-0 in 14 innings, despite the fact that she struck out 19 batters. They played one more game and lost. It's the 5th day of the tournament. If the Japanese national team wins today, they're headed for the playoffs. The Japanese national team always shows up to practice hours before a game. Seeing them warm up is like watching a form of dance. They are the synchronized swimmers of the Far East as they methodically move through exercises, preparing their spirit as well as their limbs.
若い子もたくさんいますんで、自分たちがアピールできるものを今できることを 100% 出そうっていうことね。いつも教えられることはやっぱりグラウンドっていうのは戦場だと。殺すか殺されるかの戦いをしてるんだから、本当に相手を殺すぐらいの気持ちじゃないとゲームで泣いたり笑ったりはできないと。頑張っていきましょう。はい。 So they catch you, she knocked it there.
Fiddleford. 2 strikes.
She had to hit it. That's head coach told her to do it. So, you know, it was a good time to make a home run.
もうあの場面では集中してたので。
Well, she only thought, you know, she have to make a concentration to herself to hit the ball. That's all she thought about it.
You've got to leave all your cares behind. You want to start by doing. You got to start by moving around. Don't let your thoughts unwind. Don't need a reason. There's no one season for feeling alive. You gotta do it. Come on and play for a while. Do it. You gotta do it. Don't have to do it in style. Do it. You gotta do it.
When it was all over, Japan was bumped from the tournament in the first round of the playoffs, losing to California Commotion 6-2.
One. Is that a one? Yeah, that's a one. Hand clap.
When Bill Lee pitched for the Montreal Expos, most people wondered if he would ever come down to Earth. Known as the spaceman, he philosophized his way around the league, entertaining anyone who would listen.
Do you think a woman would ever make it to the majors?
Women will make it to the majors if they gave her the chance. If the doors of opportunity were open, a woman would eventually, a Martina Navratilova, she could have been a Lenny Dykstra if she wanted to be. I could see her chewing tobacco and spitting on the carpet and having bad habits like crazy, you know, and getting into her little car with Darren Dalton and going for a little, after a, what do you call those things, bachelor party, and running into an oak tree, having her head split open and having a big scar running down it like that. She'd wear that as a red badge of courage, She would like to be there. My aunt wanted to be one of the guys, She was one of the guys. Heck, she threw the first perfect game in women's professional hardball back in 1944. So she must have been pretty good. She played with me, and she happened to be left-handed, and I think I developed that left-handedness from her.
Annabelle Lee whizzed baseballs past batters in the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League from 1944 to 1950.
After the game, why, a bunch of us girls would get together and talk the game over and find out, hey, you could have done better on that play, or geez, what a bonehead play that was, So we lived, ate, and drank, and slept baseball.
These feminine phenoms play in the All-American Girls Baseball League, which keeps the turnstiles clicking in the Loop's 8 Midwest cities: South Bend, Fort Wayne, Peoria, Rockford, Kenosha, Grand Rapids, and Kalamazoo. Look close, folks. This is not softball, but real Major League-type baseball, and managed by former Major League stars, such as Jimmy Fox. The great slugger shows his Fort Wayne shortstop, Dottie Schroeder, a new batting style. Bonnie Baker of the Kalamazoo Lasses. She's the team's regular second baseman, a base woman, excuse me, but doubles back of the plate, whether at home or on the diamond. Bonnie shares this model dream cottage with her husband and baby girl. Bonnie's ability on the diamond is exceeded only by her instinctive ability about the house. Yes, sir, she can handle that 6-ounce bottle with the same facility with which she handles a 32-ounce bat.
It's been 50 years since that now famous All-American Girls Professional Baseball League first hit the diamonds in 1943. World War II was raging in Europe, and the men shed their baseball gloves for guns. Philip K. Wrigley, the chewing gum king and owner of the Chicago Cubs, didn't want to lose his fans, so he hired a gang of young women scouted from across Canada and the United States to satisfy America's hunger for baseball. About 10% of the women were Canadian. One player insisted that women from Saskatchewan play well because there was little else to do except play ball and chase grasshoppers.
Come on, Jackson! No one can see Mama! Hi, baby! Lulabelle, that's who it is. Come here! Hi, my baby! Oh, sweetheart, it's so good to see you.
The women of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League migrate to one spot on the map every few years to swap stories. Their 50th reunion is in South Bend, Indiana.
This is my chaperone.
Passengers are on the ball. We've got a president who really knows his stuff. We're one for one, we're one for all, we're all Americans.
This is my first trip back to South Bend since I stopped playing. My first trip to the Historical Society, my first trip through the room, and as I came around the room and came up here to this particular exhibit, I looked in there and I said, that's my picture. I think I went, that's my picture.
1948, I was going to spring training, and I was just a kid, and on the train down, I was trying all the buttons on the train to see what they were like, what they'd do. And by the time I got to Florida, I had that nickname, and it stuck for the rest of the 7 years.
Lou Remkus, who was a tackle for the Cleveland Browns, he happened to be one of the umpires.
And he says, I'll give you 3 seconds to get back in the box. Excuse me, because I was arguing with him about a ball that he called a strike. And I said, come on, let's get with it, Lou. I said, goodness. I said, I don't have a strike zone over the top of my head. I said, the strike zone is from my knees a little bit up above my waist. And he says, I'll give you 3 seconds to get back in the box or you're out of here. So I got back in the box because I didn't want to get kicked out of the ball game.
Was Babe Ruth taught how to be macho? Philip K. Wrigley wasn't taking any chances. He sent his women ball players to charm school to whip them into shape.
P.K. Wrigley he wanted women to look like women. So we had the hair below the ears. We had blouses, skirts, dresses. We could not wear shorts. We could not wear slacks or anything like that. At all times, we had to look like women. When we played ball, we could play like a man, but we still had to look like a woman. We had a product we had to sell, because the people would say, my goodness, they're playing in a tennis uniform. And it really wasn't a tennis uniform. Somebody designed this crazy thing, and you had no protection for your leg or anything like that. So when you would slide, you would get a strawberry. Now, in case anyone doesn't know what a strawberry is, that's when you take the hide off from your leg and it looks the color of a strawberry.
If you got it early on, then you never got rid of it. It stayed with you all season. One of the very best players that I played with here in South Bend, Betty Wagner, who was a left-handed pitcher and a first baseman. I can remember one season, and it must have been 53, she got a strawberry early on, and she had it all. It would just get a little crusty, and then she'd have to slide again, and then we were right back where we started.
The girls played hard. I mean, they played hard and tough, and you, just like the men, you know, and you'd get spiked, and because I've still got marks on my legs from. No, I'm not going to show you my legs. Alma Ziegler and I, she was running to second base, slid in, spiked me, and I told her if she did it again, I'd grab my glove down her throat. So she was pitching at that time. Then when I got up to bat the next inning, she threw right at my head. I fell down. I didn't get hit, but I went away. But our pitcher got even the next inning, she threw at her head. No, they play rough. They play good ball. They played aggressive, hard ball.
One league where the manager can't go into the dressing room, and he waits outside along with the player's boyfriend. Buttons Pearson comes out to meet her Prince Charming. These typically American girls may play ball with masculine magnificence, but off the field, they perform with traditional feminine finesse.
And there were rules. A woman couldn't smoke or drink in public. Curfew was 2 hours after the game, and chaperones had to approve of all social engagements.
Rules are only made to be broken. If they said you had to be in 2 hours after the ball game, which would ordinarily be midnight, well, we'd be lucky if we got in at 2, 4 o'clock in the morning. Like in Peoria, when I played with the Peoria Red Wings, there was mafia people there. And they came to the ball game, and they took a liking to me. In fact, I was treated just like a queen. I used to go out in this black Packard. I mean, it was a blue Packard, and it had bulletproof glass. It was a bulletproof car. And I got to eat lobster. I got to eat in the best places that they had. And then when we were on the road, they would always come to Racine and Kenosha, Wisconsin. And I always knew I was going to have lobster then. Because, see, we just got $2.50 a day for meal money, and I couldn't use that for a meal. I had to use it for beer. See, I had to keep my beer going because I did drink.
In Grand Rapids, we stuck out of the hotel and went down the fire escape, and it was one of those fire escapes that went back up. And we got out, we couldn't get back in. We had to go through the lobby, and the manager's sitting there. And we had to bribe the bellhop there to get the manager busy so that we could get back to our rooms without being caught.
And then the one that liked me, and I'm purposely not using names, He wanted to set me up in the sporting good business as well as buy me a car and all of the fun things, you know, that goes with it and everything like that. But I refused it because Peoria was it was a terrible place.
When World War II ended, the men came home. Women weren't needed to play baseball anymore. Instead, they were expected to return to their roles as housewives. Most women were determined to continue playing professionally, but soon their baseball dreams would be only memories. By 1954, the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League had disintegrated.
Well, I was the type of girl at that particular time. You didn't tell me what I couldn't do. Because if I wanted to do it, I did it. As a little kid, when I first started playing baseball, it came natural to me. And the country, the girls did just about what the boys did. It's not like when you're in the city, you know. You got what girls do and you have what boys do. But down south, there's nothing else to do, so everybody played together. My friend and I, Rita Clark, we went to try out for the All-American Girls Baseball League. And they didn't let us try out. We were just rejected because, I don't know, I guess because we were black or whatever. Although I felt like we were just as good as they were. But it didn't happen that way. So we never discussed it anymore.
And there were baseball players who were prevented from joining the major leagues. Prior to World War II, Negro League teams sprung up across the country, from New Orleans to Kansas City to Baltimore. In the mid-1950s, Mamie Peanut Johnson was one of the few women hired to play in the Negro Leagues. Promoters were sure that a woman who could play baseball would attract a big crowd.
They called me Peanut because I was so small. I think I only weighed about 118 pounds. And it was a joy for them to see a lady pitching ball. Yeah. And I also played with Tony Stone. Tony was there when I came, and she played very good baseball. And then Connie Morgan came after I did, so there was 3 of us. We had a coach, Mr. Charleston. He was the big boss. Mr. Charleston treated me the same as anybody else. He was the type of gentleman that, hey, you are out here to play baseball, and if you can't do that, then you go home. As simple as that. We rode quite a bit. Like if we played ball here tonight and had to be somewhere else tomorrow to play tomorrow night, then we rode all night long and slept on the bus. And most of the time, the women, myself, we would stay in people's homes that were very nice. But then you had your, dingy hotels and whatever, and this is where the fellas stayed. When I went and met Mr. Stengel, years ago, Casey, and he says, it's a pity that you're not a boy. And I says, well, Mr. Stengel, I'm awful sorry, too. But those were the words he told me, yeah, that if I had been a boy, that I could have been somebody special one day. Yeah.
Let's go, get the ball.
There are a whole lot of girls that are very athletic, and they can play baseball if they were encouraged to do so. Somewhere down the line, there could be some young lady that comes from nowhere and become one of the best players there is. That would be a real blessing, yeah, for us. I'd enjoy that.
Jackie Autry is?
Jesse who?
Jackie Autry.
Jackie Autry. Oh, yes.
Can you tell me who she is?
Gene Autry's wife.
Do you know what she does?
No.
Oh, yeah.
course.
We even saw her one night coming with Gene to the park here.
Can you tell me who she is?
She's the wife of Gene Autry.
She's the wife of Gene Autry.
And the owner of the Angels. Well, part
owner of the Angels.
I played center field, and here's my glove right here. It's about 45 years old. It's well used, well worn. I've had a variety of people pick it up and they'll reminisce back 40 years ago because, of course, the gloves that I've had are so different than they are today. But, you know, it smells good, too. Baseball was a lot of fun for me as a kid, and played with a variety of schools, and I just enjoy the game of baseball. This guy that manages for Cleveland used to be called the human rain delay. Remember my card robe? He'd get up here and he'd twist his cap and wrench on his gloves and do his waistband and pull up the back and pull down on his shirt. Good crowd tonight. I met Gene in 1964 when I was a banker. I worked for a company called Security Pacific National Bank and became very friendly with him. And several years ago, his wife passed away, and I stopped to pay my condolences, and we started dating about 2.5 weeks after that, so it was really wonderful. And as time went on, and as Gene continued to get a little bit older, and found that he did not want to deal with a lot of the anguish and heartache and aggravation of baseball, he asked me if I would take on more and more of the business side, and so I agreed to do that. I've also been very lucky in that I've had a lot of good people who have taken me under their wing, like a Gene Mock, who was an outstanding manager, Leo DeRocher, who sat up here and really kind of take me through the nuances of what was going on down in the field. He's got him. My husband and I attend about 97% of the ball games here at Anaheim Stadium. And when you've done that for 12 years straight, unless you're an absolute moron, something has got to rub off somewhere. What do you think about a woman running a baseball team?
It's fine.
It's no good.
No, actually, Marge Schott popped her mouth off a little too much.
The most controversial woman in baseball is Cincinnati Reds owner Marge Schott.
Mrs. Schott is reprimanded and censored in the strongest terms for her use of racially and ethnically insensitive language.
In 1993, Marge Schott, known for her outspoken manner, was suspended from the major leagues and fined $25,000 for making racial slurs. She insisted that baseball had no right to suspend her and claimed it was nothing more than a witch hunt.
Ridiculous. It's a witch hunt.
Other women also ran ball clubs. From 1911 to 1917, Helen Britton was owner of the St. Louis Cardinals, despite Mel protest. She didn't let men make decisions for her, and even fired a manager when he spoke against her. Effa Manley and her husband Abe were co-owners of the Newark Eagles in the Negro Leagues during the 1930s and 40s. Essentially, Effa ran the team. She wasn't afraid to speak her mind, and was a determined supporter of black rights. When Major League owners started signing black players in 1946, stripping the Negro Leagues of their best talent, Effa Manley called it rape.
Control's as good as ever. As in non-existent. That's the way.
Her name is Diane Warner. Some call her the drill sergeant. She fine-tunes her troops like one would a Rolls-Royce. Diane used to pitch for the Raybestos Breakettes, one of the best softball teams in the United States. When her knees gave out, she turned to coaching women's fast-pitch softball. In 1989, she was selected as the top female coach for team sports in Canada.
Oh, Jules. Yeah.
Yeah, no, come around, let her take some.
I first was approached to coach this team 11 years ago now, and they were just midgets at the time. They just finished winning the Midget Canadian Championship, and now they're in their late 20s. So we've stuck together for a lot of years. When I started, they were very young teenagers, and they still called me Miss Warner instead of Diane. I fined them if they were late. I would fine them if they swore. Then they asked me which swear words were acceptable. So we had quite a year together, and it was a fun year. And through a lot of hardships that we encountered with the organization, with the community, we bonded very, very quickly. And that summer, we happened to win our province title and went to a national. And since then, just our love and respect for each other has continued to grow.
Just get snapped down. Yeah, push.
Don't get concerned if you're getting bumped around in the batting order. We're just trying people out in different spots and seeing who can do the bunts, who can't, who's the quickness, who can do the poking. Devlin's pitching, very quick, erratic sometimes, and we'll throw you the occasional change-up. Okay, so yeah, quick and speed, so keep the bats nice and high on her. All right, one other thing. You can't be lazy on the bunts. With that quickness, you got to keep your bats high and get around a little sooner. Okay, help each other out with their ball players and what they do. Let's go, gang.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, just good! Yeah!
If my fist, as I'm facing to the ball field, the arm to the field, on the field, if I use a fist, whatever signal I gave you last pitch is on still. Good one to win, gang, good one to win. On contact, it's a force. In the air, get back. Nice high bat, like you did earlier, Kimmy. Come on now, your pitch. On, Kimmy! How are you? Turn it! Stop! Come on! Push it! Go on! Whoops! Back, Mo!
That's the way! Good job, Joe! Heads up ball, Joe!
Like one error out in 5 games, and now we're mentally up the middle, learning mistakes. Get that serve! Oh, yeah, those were the tying runs. She had it. Okay, a couple of things, folks. Mentally and physically, we weren't in that game. We've made 2 errors all year, and we made 6 in that ball game. We got it out of our system, mentally and physically. Maybe it was the heat, maybe we just weren't charging the balls enough. But 5-1 isn't bad. Tough team to go against. We'll pick it up next week and get back on track.
And how about umpiring? There was a woman who wanted to be an umpire.
I think that'd be tough.
Well, I don't think she'd be a lady very long.
No.
I think she'd have to know how to talk the men's language.
Yeah. And she'd have to know how to say out.
And mean it.
And mean it.
Well, I hate to see Tommy Lasorda in a woman's face, because she'll probably start crying. We're not gonna make the film.
Amanda Clement of South Dakota was the first woman to be paid to umpire a baseball game. She umpired semi-pro men's games in the early 1900s. Umpiring was a risky job during those days. The threat, kill the umpire, sometimes became a fact. One woman tried to be a major league umpire. Pam Postema called balls and strikes in the minor leagues for 13 years and shrugged off all kinds of intimidation. Once, a manager kissed her on the lips. Fans often told her to go home and have a baby. Someone left a frying pan at home plate. And Houston Astros pitcher Bob Nepper quoted the Bible, insisting that women shouldn't be in positions of authority over men. The National Organization for Women nominated him for their Neanderthal of the Year award. Finally, in 1989, Pam Postema's dreams were crushed. She was suddenly fired and sent home. Baseball officials claimed her work as an umpire was not good enough. She never made it to the major leagues.
This is something that I believe in.
Sharon Sinclair was once chased off the field by a guy wielding a baseball bat because he didn't like a call she made. Today, Sharon is a high-ranked international umpire.
These are, of course, the steel-toed shoes, umpire plate shoes. And it only took about 25 years before the manufacturers started making them so that they would fit women. Okay, now I have a special chest protector that I wear. It's homemade, but I find that it protects me better than the ones when you put them on the inside of the shirt. Plus, I don't like the looks of the ones that are on the inside of the shirt. Now, the only thing is that with this, I require assistance doing it up. Chest protector on, please. Okay?
I'd be glad to.
Right. You're being so polite.
I'm always polite.
What would you normally do?
Be pulling the zipper down.
I always like it when I take my earrings off and then have to ask the guys to take theirs off when they come up to the plate. I don't say it too loudly, just loudly enough for everybody to hear. I started as a player and saw that there was a great need for the training and development of officials, particularly for the umpires that were doing the women's games or the girls' games. So I decided that I would get involved in it.
Safe! You're out! You're out! Safe!
The officiating part of it was very difficult because it was a male domain, and they initially wanted to keep it that way. Some of the male umpires that we were working with were what I would classify as being insecure. So if you made a call that they thought was incorrect, they would come in without your requesting them to come in and overrule you on it when they had absolutely no authority to do that. But because they had been umpiring longer and were male, they felt that they had that right. The ground rules are very basic. They're in accordance with the rule book. Anything past the fence and past the fall line is out of play. We will be calling that so that your players are not endangered. If you have any questions on any of the plays, please go and see the umpire whose call it was. And if you want to, you can remember that I'm wired for sound, so if you're going to swear at me, come right up to the mic. Are we tossing for home game?
Yes.
Would you like to call it in the air? It's heads. Play ball! Play ball, no play! Play ball! I'll play! Hey! The play! Time's called! The player had touched him with the glove hand, which did not have the ball in it.
Having the base there because we called him out. We called him
out. No, the call was reversed, okay? He knew that the play was still on, and he continued on and got tagged on the way back to second base. I can remember a situation where there was a ball player that I had called out at home plate. He was so angry about it that he couldn't let go of it, and when he came back into the catching position, the next pitch that came in, he dropped his glove and it came right through back and hit me. And it came with such force because these guys are pitching at about 70 miles per hour. So it came back with such force, it lifted me about 10 feet back. I guess if anything good came out of that is that his own ball players plus the other team came and got that guy and they literally threw him over a bench because they were so angry at what he had done. I didn't finish the game. I couldn't get up because of the fact that my shoulder had been dislocated from that pitch.
See, I'm one of the rare and few women of few words. Out, safe, out.
Come on, guys, go!
I don't strike jumping at the camera around. On the spot. Knees up. Knees up, how high?
They call themselves the old ball bags. The youngest is 45, the oldest is 62.
And we can take over, Al.
We like to hit the wall. We are the Canadian girls. We wear our hair in curls. We like to bat the ball. We like to hit the wall.
They were looking for somebody that could run. I was 49 years old, and I had a van.
There you go. Transportation. The first year wanted to know if I fit in the right age group, and she didn't quite know how to ask me diplomatically. So she said she was allowed to carry a few girls between the ages of 45 and 49, and she says, would you happen to fit in that category? And I was so tempted to say no, but I said yes, and I'm glad I joined the team.
I used to coach ball with Winnie, the minor girls, and last year she called me up and she said, hi, Jackie, do you know who it is? And I said, yes, it's Winnie. And I hadn't talked to her for about 4 years. She says to me, how old are you? She says, you're 50, aren't you?
See, she never gave me the chance to say, all right, am I 50 or not? She knew.
Every July, these Pelham, Ontario ladies represent Canada at the U.S. Senior League Slow Pitch Championship Tournament in Mount Clemens, Michigan, a suburb of Detroit.
Well, in this league, it's mainly men. They've just started women.
That's not a problem.
They just started the women's league 3 years ago, the women's division. So in the men's division, there's 50 and over, 55 and over, 60 and over, 65 and over, and 70 and over. So it's really exciting to see that the men can continue, and we're hoping that as time goes on, the women's league can get to that too.
We just happened to be sitting down waiting to go on the field, and they were all sitting there, and I said, what's 1912, 1917, 1920? Well, like, what does that mean? Like, we got number 1 to, to 28. And that's the year they were born, and I thought it was a fabulous way to advertise. Let me see your bracket. 75? 1915. What's this guy? Come on here.
Hey,
19?
this guy.
Oh, you're just a kid.
Right.
What are you? Oh, 1917. 1919. No, oh, you're just a baby.
One gentleman was telling me that he was 85 years old, and he got up to bat, and he said to him, what do I have to do to get on base and get home? He said, just hit it over the fence. So he got up and he hit it over the fence. Right. He made it to third base and he sat down. And another fellow come off the team and give him a high five, and he scored home for him.
Sandra! Lois! There's no looking back now. We gotta go and get them now. Come on. That's right, guys. Let's go!
Let's go, Canada! Win, win, win! Hey!
All right, come on, man. Not 2 inches, not 2 inches in there.
Maddie, there they are, Maddie. Come on there. My mom and dad are the greatest fans in the world. They come to all our tournaments. They have a great time there, and they're always standing behind the girls, and everybody just loves them. They all call them Mom and Dad. And, of course, they come with their bells, and I call them the ding-a-lings. I said, oh, here comes the ding-a-lings, only joking, of course, but they're great support.
Nice in the hole. To the wall. Oh, come on. To the fence. Come on, man. Let's get that hair moving. Get that hair moving. Come
Oh, way to go. You want that bat? That's my daddy's bat. Where's Papa? Papa, we got to thank Papa. Where is he? Dad! That was your bat, Dad! Home run bat!
What's it like umpiring all these women?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, we enjoy it. This is what we'd like to do in our spare time. And we're just having a good time through this whole tournament. Women, men, all alike.
How about you? You told me something before.
Oh, what? They smell better than men? Smell a lot better, and they're prettier, too.
Gary, our umpire tomorrow, is single. He's 41.
Is he the one that was
He's
that I was trying to
divorced.
step on?
Divorced with no children, so no family support, no wife support. He's got money.
He's an umpire.
He's an umpire.
That's the white legs.
He's the one from before.
Nice looking, dark. Brown knees, white legs. He was the one that had white legs.
You know when in the big diamond with the blue behind.
Short shorts.
Yeah, and he's a good-looking fella. He's got a mustache.
I like the umpire that handles the protest. I thought he was kind of cute.
Where did you go in the
That's the
guy.
guy. That's the guy.
Don't throw me out. You know I love living on the run. Help me make it home. Throw a little something my way. Hey, it seems that every time I try to find a reason why I do what I do, you look me in the eye and say, stop running, stop hiding. Won't you come dancing with me?
How about a woman baseball player? Do you think there'll ever be a woman baseball player?
I don't think they're good enough. They're good athletes, but I don't think they're good enough to compete with the men.
Why do you just think they don't have the strength, or?
No, I don't. Basically, women are great, but there's certain areas that they should stay out of.
Women playing pro baseball is a rarity. The Colorado Silver Bullets are the first professional women's baseball team in 40 years. They're barnstorming their way across North America, from Winnipeg to San Francisco's Candlestick Park, challenging men's minor league, semi-pro, and college teams to a game the men once claimed as their own.
The Silver Bullets are holding tryouts in search of new talent. The best players will be invited to spring training in Florida.
Let me introduce to you the manager of the Colorado Silver Bullets, and that's a man who won 318 games in the big leagues, the 14th winningest pitcher in baseball history. And that says a lot about that man. Please get a big round of applause for Mr. Phil Niekro.
Good morning. Nice to have you all here today. Last year we saw about 1,800 young ladies last year at tryout camps. 1,800. We took 49 of those to spring training in Orlando, Florida for about 6-7 weeks. We broke our ball team down to 24 players, and now we have 20 on our ball club. So you can see that 20 out of 1,800, you got to kind of be a little special to make the ball club. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for special people right now. We pretty much know this morning if your mechanics and your arm is good enough, and if you throw and you catch and things like that. So our process may be just a little bit different what you may expect, but these guys who's going to be helping us with the tryouts today have been in baseball a long time, and we can pretty much see what we're seeing. Our eyes are telling us that it's there, it's not there.
You're right.
And why do you want to try out for the Silver Bullets?
Well, I thought it'd be an experience, you know, something I could tell my grandkids maybe someday I play professional baseball. I don't know, I think it's a great idea, you know, they definitely got participation and interest, so I say I've always liked to play.
What do you do when you're not playing baseball?
I'm a heavy construction equipment operator. My name's Phyllis Jello, and I'm from Boston, Mass, and I'm 26 years old.
And why did you come out here today?
Dream come true. I always wanted to be a professional baseball player. So it's an opportunity to try it. I hope I do make it.
Good. That's it now. Good. Put that glove right in front.
Like this?
That's a stretcher. Don't worry about that. Okay, let me see you hit that glove this time. Okay, good.
Great experience to see Joe Niekro, Phil Niekro, Tommy Jones, It's like a dream come true, growing up as them being my heroes.
You played a lot of baseball?
Yeah, when I was younger, I played up to about 16.
What do you do when you're not playing baseball?
Softball.
Good job.
It's just a lifelong dream, and I figured might as well give it a shot. I went down to Durham, North Carolina and tried once, and this is my second attempt.
So you haven't given up?
No, this is a dream that I hope can come true, and I'd like to make my career playing baseball.
Ready, go!
I grew up and I played a lot of baseball when I was younger, Little League and Babe Ruth. I was the first girl in my town to play Little League. Had to stop at the Babe Ruth level. Wasn't permitted to play baseball in high school. So I saw the opportunity to come here and couldn't pass it up.
Dugout.
One more. There you go, good. Grab your glove.
I'm from Arvada, Colorado, and came in here last night and finally made it.
Have you played a lot of baseball?
Yeah, I played baseball till I was 13, and then I switched to softball about 14, 15.
Why the switch?
I don't know. I think I got scared. The guys were getting older, they were getting bigger, getting more intimidating, so I switched.
But if you play with the Silver Bullets, you're going to have to play against guys.
Oh yeah, and I think that's wonderful now. I mean, when I was younger, you're in that age where it's almost too much. It's the boy-girl age. So yeah, I switched. I mean, I regret switching, but now I would be totally psyched to play against guys. I think it'd be great.
They don't scare you now?
No, not at all.
I got the name.
Nice. Good job. There you go. That's it. Get on it. Can I take another one?
Yeah, you're all right. We're on swings, not pitches now. Okay, next hitter. You're all right.
No one, when you leave here, will be told if you're going to be invited to spring training or not when you leave the camp here. You'll be notified within a month, maybe 2 months, as to whether you'll be invited to spring training next year or not. So don't feel like when you leave here that you're not invited, because we're going to take our notes back and our evaluations and sit down and talk and come up with who we think should be invited down there.
I fielded okay. My throws could have been better. But he pointed to the dugout, so I guess I didn't know what it meant. When I got over there, I thought I was going to be going out into the outfield, and I thought he just sent you over here to put you somewhere. Ended up being that we were the group that was going to hit next. So I shagged a few balls and got used to being out in the field for a while, and then went in and hit. And I only connected about 5 times out of like 10. But I did better than I thought I would do. So I felt pretty good. It stung the hand a little bit, the wooden bat, but we'll see if I get anything in the mail in a few weeks.
Are you excited?
Oh yeah, very excited, yeah.
Is this going to change your life?
Could, I don't know yet.
This is the Colorado Silver Bullets' first year, and the competition has been tough. It's late in the season, and they've only won 3 of their last 10 games. Tonight, these women will challenge the Watertown, New York All-Stars to a game of baseball.
I am the only devout Silver Bullets believer here at the Duffy Dome. The Watertown All-Stars, they're thinking we're going to go out, we're going to play some girls, it's going to be softball, we're going to kill them. It's not going to happen.
I think the All-Stars are taking the game very seriously, okay? And I think Saturday they're not working. They're mentally preparing for the game. And I think they're going to come out ready to go. And I think the All-Stars are going to win, like I said before. I think it's going to be a good game. I'd like to see some good baseball. Looking forward to seeing the Silver Bullets play. But like I said before, I'm going with the All-Stars.
You don't think women can play as good as
No,
men?
no. No, I didn't say that. Or I didn't mean that.
He's borderline.
You know, think I'm not as insecure as some of your teammates.
Switch.
Oh, come on, you're my coworker.
My name's Casey Clark. I'm looking for a white male, 220 pounds, 6'4", professional athlete, doesn't cheat on his wife. That would be me.
Switch.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What position do you play?
Center field.
And have you played baseball?
About 11 years ago.
Baseball?
Uh-huh. About 11 years ago. I played Little League for 8 years.
And the guys never gave you a hard time?
Not the guys, the parents. When I played Little League, the parents always gave me a hard time. But I think that was just because the possibility of being better than their son.
Have you ever seen women play baseball before?
No. I've
Not the
softball
professional.
teams, but, you know, nothing professional like this, no.
And what do you expect to see? Do you think they're going to win?
Yes, I expect it. I betcha. Be rooting for them all the way.
Because?
Just because we're women.
This is the program of the Silver Bullets, and I've got all the autographs of all the girls, plus the coaches. I started getting them in Durham, North Carolina about a month and a half ago, and been following them ever since.
Gentlemen, here's the starting lineup for the Colorado Silver Bullets. Leading off, playing second base, number 3, Michelle McEnany. Batting second, designated hitter, number 6, Michelle Deluso. Left fielder, number 46, Gary Krupke. Number 42, Gina Santriano. Jay Sloan. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give the 1994 Colorado Silver Bullets a watered-down welcome.
Game. Call him like you see him. Our catcher is an outstanding defensive catcher, so you don't worry about her. She'll take. Her name's Elizabeth. Call her
Right,
E.
I heard. Call her E?
E.
Okay.
She can. She won't disappoint you.
No problem. No problem. That's good.
Could she catch you, Phil? She could catch anybody.
It's the bottom of the last inning. 1 out. The Bullets are still leading 3-2. Kramer's at the plate. Ketchum, the pitcher. She's planning graduate studies in biomechanical engineering. Right here, she wants to engineer her way to a win. Let's see if Ketchum can get these all-stars out. The tying runs at first base. Can these ladies hold them? Ketchum is ready. It's a ground ball near second. Clinch is forced at second. Kramer safe at first base. But now there are 2 outs. This could be it. The Silver Bullets are 1 out away from a win. Ketchum is ready. Zany is the hitter. He's got to be feeling some pressure. Ketchum gets ready and checks the runner at first base. Zany swings, a high bouncer. Heisler near the bag at second to McEnany for the force and the ball game. The Colorado Silver Bullets have edged out the Watertown All-Stars 3-2.
I heard about the Silver Bullets when I was playing with the women's baseball team in Florida, and it was a dream come true for me because I played baseball my whole life and I dreamed of this.
What were you doing at the time? What was your occupation?
I was a deputy district attorney in Los Angeles, California.
And that must have disrupted your whole life. I mean, I heard something you were going to be a big murder trial lawyer or something like that.
Well, I did, yeah, I did have a unique opportunity. Less than 6 months into the office there, I was given my first murder case, and I had been working on that for a couple months when this opportunity came up. And I had to give up my murder case in order to come play with the Silver Bullets once I got invited to spring training. So that was, I mean, that was a very good opportunity for me at work that I had to pass up in order to do this. But I've been waiting for this a long time.
My goal was to play high school baseball, and I wasn't allowed to play for my high school because I was a girl. And I took my high school to court, actually, to play. So, well, we lost. Discrimination is really hard to prove, but I didn't want them to get away with it, even if it meant just going to court and losing. I wanted them to know that they were wrong.
Did the coach get the other players to sort of gang up to you?
Yeah, actually, it was horrible. It was the worst senior year anyone could imagine. All the other players showed up in court and said that I couldn't run, I couldn't hit, I couldn't throw, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't eat, I couldn't, you know, and they really tortured me for the rest of that year, but I don't care, you know, it was worth it. You have to stand up for things you believe in.
Good luck to you. Yeah, I hope I don't get homesick.
I think that women's baseball is just going to take off, and I am so happy that I helped in any way, you know?
Is there any advice you'd give to a young player who wants to play, really wants to play?
Fight, man. Fight like hell and play really hard, and don't listen to them. There you go. Nice to meet you. You gonna come to any more of our games?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
Good luck.
I appreciate it.
Long overdue.
Oh, you
Great
bet
job.
it is. Thanks. You take my job one day?
Very impressive. Maybe if I could.
Maybe. Are you first baseman? All right, train hard because I'm getting old.
Give her a high
All
five.
right. See you later.
Phyllis Jello, made Silver Bullets, second string. Karen McBarron, not selected, engaged to be married. Heather Wright, made Silver Bullets, second string. Kelly Weston, not selected, still doing heavy construction. Kristen Gaitis, not selected, will try again next summer to keep the dream alive.